Hello, everyone. Welcome to Pixel Breakdown. My name is Joseph, and I'm here with our lovely host, Emily. And today we are going to be interviewing Kyle on this game.
We're really excited to have you, by the way.
Very much
Welcome
so.
back.
Very much so. And to kick things off, I'm just going to ask you some quick questions. So first, we'd like to know, working on your game, what was the elevator pitch that you gave to your friends when you would tell them what you've been working on?
Yeah, this one is a little bit odd.
Really interested to hear this one, by the way.
It's just like snipe elves as Santa with your friends is kind of it. And it's like, what are you talking about here? But basically it's a asynchronous multiplayer game where it's bunch of elves, some are humans, and then one Sniper Santa. The human elves are trying to sabotage gifts. Sniper Santa is trying to save Christmas by sniping elves that are trying to sabotage gifts. I mean, it's about as simple as that.
Simple as one word. I would say this game is probably going to save Christmas for me. Something about Santa with a sniper rifle is just like, brilliant. How did you really how did y'all come up with it? Like, what's the general process that you went through?
It's kind of been a running joke because we first made this game casually over Christmas break 2023. We just had this idea. We were like, let's take a break from the game we were working on and just make basically kind of game jam, for a couple of weeks over the Christmas break. But it was like a couple hours here, a couple hours there while we're spending time with the family and just relaxing. But we thought this idea would be really funny. And there's some other games like this out there that I've played where it's, it's kind of almost like a prop hunt game where it's like the players try to blend in and do something and then one person has to try to find who they are. But yeah, so we made this prototype and threw it up on itch. It's been on itch for a couple of years. But it was super jank. It was just basically one screen where you type in whatever username you want and then the room code, and then it puts you directly into the game, and then your friends could join. There's no lobby, there's no settings. It was just but it worked. And if you went to it on your phone, you could play on your phone. If you went to the itch.io on your phone, it was mobile, you could play it.
Oh wow.
But it was also it was jank. So we were like, let's clean it up a little bit. Let's add a proper lobby. You know what I mean? Let's try to get it onto the app stores, which I'm still sorting through. But let's put it out there, and for the app stores, I think we were planning on just having it be a free game, maybe with some ads or something. Our goal isn't to get rich off of this. It's just a fun game. And then we're hoping that we can get it up on Steam before Christmas, which is 6 days away. And we were going to put it on Steam for $3. Yeah. But the store page got approved today, so that's good. So the store page is up now, so you can wishlist it.
Yeah, we'll have links for it for sure, definitely in the description. I always loved these kinds of games. I love the even in board games, the having certain people not be a part of the team or sabotaging stuff. I think that's great, and I think that that's perfect for a perfect holiday game because you're sitting around with everyone, or maybe you're not, in the same room, but that's a good game night sort of thing. I love everything about this game. So
we've play tested it as such, and it's the kind of game that anyone can play. It's for example, last Christmas, I spent with big family Christmas kind of thing. And I was playing it with my sister and my parents. And I mean, we played for 45 minutes, an hour, and we were playing the jank version. You know what I mean? People were having a ton of fun. And so we've done that several times over the years to where we're I think we have a fun, simple game on our hands. We need to properly just put it out there for people to play and enjoy it or whatever it is. So,
no, genuinely, I think social deduction games, that's what they're called, and I love it.
Well, it's also interesting too because it's not just a social deduction game, right? It's also asynchronous, I think is what they call it, where it's one person versus everybody else. So I'm actually kind of curious what sparked that idea. Was it more so you came up with that idea with the asynchronous first, and then you built around the like shooting the elves. I don't have a really good way of putting it. After that, or
did Santa always have a gat, or was that added in after?
Did he always have it out for the elves?
So me and my business partner AJ, we had dinner together one night, like before the holidays, and we were like thinking, like brainstorming, like what could we build? And I think we specifically wanted to try to make a multiplayer game, like for the first time. So that was kind of the goal. And then we were saying like, oh, it'd be funny if it was just like a Christmas themed game. And then from there, just kind of snowballed into these ideas of like, oh, what if it's in the workshop and the elves are trying to sabotage the presents and Santa's sniping them? Like, this sounds good. Yeah.
I actually do also like the art style is a lot different from what y'all normally do. And I think this also ties into, because I remember you were saying that you guys like to do like little short bursts of like game like hackathons. I'm forgetting the like actual term. Yeah, game jam. Yeah. Like doing game jam games. And this seems like one of those ones where you're pushing the art style to something different that you normally don't do.
Yeah, it's true. So the first version of this had like AJ kind of came up with like these little elves that were all like yarn textured, you know, and then kind of like a media, you know, mashup with just like kind of almost like kids like crayon drawing kind of 2D art in the background.
It's charming.
And
stuff. It is. I like it a lot.
Yeah. So so that's kind of the first idea. When we wanted to revisit this, so we have added a third guy to our team, Scott, who's actually my buddy. He's been my buddy since middle school. Like I've known him since he was in middle school. I'm a little bit older than he is. But he's been in the games industry his whole career. He's worked on movies and games and everything, and he's a 3D artist. And so he's been doing some of the stuff for this. Like he made fun little like 3D tables with like Christmas lights on them, and like, so we're updating the art. We're going to have 3 different levels. We have like a rooftop level now, like a snowy, like a rooftop where the elves are running around sabotaging presents before Santa can get them down the chimney and like all this other stuff. But he's added a lot to it too, because he's come in with a bit of expertise that we were lacking in terms of like the 3D department. We could talk about that later in terms of what we're really working on. You know, because Elf Sabotage is just a little bit of like a fun side project, you know, just to get it out.
Yeah, fun side project, but it might be like the Mariah Carey of games next, you know, like this year, next year. It might be one of those things that people always bust out every year. You never know. I could see it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, what we want to do is that we kind of want, because it was always a Christmas themed game and it's called Elf Sabotage, so it will always kind of be that. But we were like, we should just add like, we should make like an Easter themed one and like a Halloween themed one.
That would be cool, actually.
Because this is that kind of game where like
the rabbits.
Yeah, like this is that kind of game where like it's pretty easy to kind of just chip away at and work on and update over time. We just had a meeting today about that actually. We were like, listen, even if for whatever reason our build isn't ready before the holidays, like we should just still release it. I mean, it doesn't matter, but then we can update it throughout the year, you know, like Chinese New Year, you know, like whatever we feel like doing. So that could also be kind of fun too. And just over time, it might just be this game that just has a bunch of goofy shit in it.
It is a good game for a blank canvas, because it's not like we've been playing Enshrouded a lot, and you can add stuff in there that are Christmas theme, but not the entire theme. You can't easily switch it out to being that. But this seems like one of those games where, you could take that base game and tweak it just a little for each holiday. I love that.
Yeah, it's very easy to build upon.
You know that about me. Like, that's one of my favorite things to play, because I just think what's great is like everyone comes in with like an even playing field, and like everyone, it's not like you're not going to get like GG easied out of a lobby or like anything like that. It's just everyone messing around and having fun. And like, it is like even kids can play, or adults. Like, it's one of those great things where it's like anyone can play and mess around. I think it's great. I think I read though that Santa has limited ammo. What was the reason behind that?
So the game mechanics are pretty simple, and you can tweak these. We added some settings in the lobby so you can kind of like scale the difficulty based on like kind of what everybody wants to do. But limited ammo is important, because otherwise there's no penalty for Santa getting anything wrong. He could just go and shoot all the elves and eventually win. Mm-hmm. So say, for example, in a game, maybe there's 12 elves and 4 of them are people. So Santa might have 6 rounds. So basically, you get 2 mistakes, but then you got to get the other ones. So that's kind of like the idea to having like a limited clip on your sniper rifle.
It just introduces like a fail state for Santa, right?
Yeah. So
So
Santa has to snipe all of the elves before he runs out of bullets. That's the only win condition for Santa. The elves have a certain number of gifts they have to collectively sabotage. So maybe maybe they have to sabotage 12 gifts. So if there's 4 of you, if each of you can sabotage 3, you'll hit the mark, But oftentimes someone gets sniped, and now you got to get so if they sabotage all the gifts, they win. Or if Santa doesn't, runs out of ammo and hasn't gotten all of you, you also win. So it's a little bit easier for the elves to win, but it's also, I think it's pretty fun to play as Santa. And then the way that it works is like, it's a 2D side scrolling, just back and forth. So with Santa, you have the typical, the classic sniper scope, view, but it kind of limits your screen space, and the way that you can tell if an elf is a person is that when you're moving back and forth, the enemy, the computer AI just kind of walks back and forth, left or right, will pause, be idle for a little while. The humans can do the same thing. But when you go to sabotage a gift, this is something that we just added. Scott added, he said it would be really funny because initially we were just thinking like, oh, we're going to like do this little animation or something. And then the gift will change from a 2D drawn gift to like the 3D yarn gift, so you could tell that it's sabotaged. But that was just because we were just trying to wrap it up quick, and like we didn't.
Yeah.
Right.
But Scott was like, "What if we pay homage to Counter-Strike because we all liked that game growing up?" And it's like, "What if they like plant like C4 on the gifts like the terrorists do in Counter-Strike?" So right now we have So right now they'll bust out a C4, and it takes like. It'll take like 3 seconds, 4 seconds to stick it on the gift, and then like boom, it'll explode. But that's the only way is Santa will catch you planting the bomb basically, and then he'll know that you're. But if you're careful, you won't get seen. So that's that's it, and that's the game. Like it's very simple, but it's so stupidly fun, especially if you're all playing in the same room. That is like one of the, like you were saying earlier, Emily, like to me, that's like the best way to play this game is just all together in the same room and like gets the heart going,
It only makes sense that Santa is an opera, huh? So I know you mentioned that you were playtesting too. This is another thing that I remember you saying earlier. So when you were playtesting, because if I remember, because I actually did take a look into the game prior to this interview, and I saw that there was that limitation of like 6 bullets. Was that something that you like defaulted to in your own playtesting? You found that 6 bullets was like the optimum amount of chances for somebody?
I know you said though that Santa that you can adjust it, right? But what was there playtesting involved to like get to that default amount basically?
Yeah.
Right now, I think from when I've played the jank version, it was just 6 bullets regardless. And it felt more fun when there were more elves with 6 bullets than when it was just like 2 players and 6 bullets. Like Santa had too many opportunities to get it right. So right now I have like a minimum setting of it's just however like many elves there are, and then like 1.5x or whatever is like the minimum amount. But you can add more if you want, like if you feel like it's too hard, or maybe if you're playing with a kid and it's just harder for them. You know what I mean? Like, so that's why I didn't want to have to think too much about balance. I was like, why do I? We can just let people set this themselves.
Yeah,
kind of like how Among Us does. A little bit.
Yeah, because I didn't see a reason to like lock it into a certain amount because some people might not find that fun or whatever it is. So right now, there's 3 things. You can choose the level, you can choose how many gifts the elves have to sabotage to win, and then you can choose how many rounds Santa has to find the elves. So I figured I'd leave it in the player's hands to adjust.
I love customization. No, that's a great idea.
Did you have to change anything while you were playtesting then? Because it sounds like you kind of early on already knew that you were going to let people sort of have free reins on how they wanted to craft their own game. So when you were playtesting, did you have to really change all that much, or did you already out the get-go like struck gold? Like
yeah,
it was kind of just fun. I remember we went to our first GDC in March after that 2023 Christmas and 2024, and we were in like some hotel lobby, and we had like a bunch of people playing Elf Sabotage, and like they were having a blast.
That would have been me if I was there.
I would have been there. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah. Like, and so, yeah, anytime we've played it, like the little specifics haven't mattered too much, so I haven't been worried about it. People are just having fun. And it's such a simple game to where it's like, it's okay. It's okay. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like you're like hardcore balancing League of Legends or something.
Right,
No,
right.
Like, the online community is going to rage.
I know you mentioned this was a side project. Does that mean that you're working on something else right now? And if so, are you allowed to talk about it, I should say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Funny.
Yeah, we've been pretty public about it. We're more of like a philosophy of like, let's just show as soon as we have something to show.
Right.
We're not trying to like keep development like closed door too much. Like as soon as we have a play test, like if you want to play it, just let us know. Like we want as much feedback as possible. And so so we are. I'll backtrack a bit. So this summer, a lot of people will be familiar with the GMTK Game Jam. It is the biggest game jam on itch.io every year. It has done for like the last 4 years in a row. It's like consistently the biggest one. And if you're not familiar with it, it's a Game Maker's Toolkit. Mark Brown has a big YouTube channel and like just makes general videos on video games and stuff, but he hosts this game jam every year, and
I love his content actually.
Yeah, so this is his game jam, and he usually does it in the like August time frame. So it's like a summer game jam, and we've done it the past 3 years. The first year we made a game that was somewhat fun. The second year I think we finished in like the top 400 out of like 6,000 games or something. So we were like, yeah, that's pretty good. This year we tried something different. We've been world building a lot in this world that we're calling Verilith, which is like a dark fantasy world. I've got like maps and there's continents and whatever, and like
opposite end of the spectrum of the Elf game, by the way.
Totally different. So
opposite.
So and the reason why is that AJ is a very well-known concept artist in the industry on his own right. I mean, he's worked all over the place. He has a huge following, and he's known for having pretty like dark monsters and like this art style that is kind of gritty and like could match a dark fantasy genre super well. And so we were like, why don't we just try to lean on kind of the art that you're already like known for and like make a world around that. So we started doing that, and we decided to make a game called Ritual for the Game Jam this summer. And it was based on some world building that we had done like 6 months prior. We had no game mechanics or anything. It was just these people that I wrote about, and like kind of like their culture and like the god that they believed in, and all this stuff was like already there. So we made this game, and it's super light on gameplay. So it was like basically like drawing stars and like creating constellations was like the game mechanic, but like you couldn't lose really. I mean, it's just like more of a narrative story.
Right.
And AJ just focused on vibes and polish and making the art really awesome.
Vibes is the first word I think of because I remember that, and it was like vibe. Like you feel something.
You feel the dark fantasy.
No, you do.
Well, the other key to this too is that we brought on. There's a guy in Norway that I randomly met for the GMTK Game Jam 2 years ago, who did music and sound for that game, and he did great. So when this one came back around, I was like, dude, you want a game jam with us again?
Yes.
And he's like, yeah. And then we found another guy in the Philippines who is an absolute shredder on the guitar and an incredible musician who we had been working with this year a bit. So those two guys collaborated and made sound and audio that just really, this game wouldn't have popped off the way that it did without their work as well. So it was a combination of everything coming together. But long story long, we ended up getting first place in art out of like 9,000 games. And
not
then,
surprising when you look at it.
So we were very excited about that. And then we got like 20th or 21st or something for sound and like 23rd for narrative. So we did super duper well. And we were like, you'll hear a lot of other like YouTube game devs or whatever talk about like trying to find validation that your idea is good, because like you can really fall in love with an idea, but it doesn't mean the market cares. It's like,
no, it's just bad reality.
And so we found something that was validating this world building we had been working on, validating that we should lean into the dark fantasy art style that AJ is just good at doing. He's good at doing most stuff, but he's really good at that. And so we were like, we have to take this seriously. You know what I mean? Like, this is a good sign. So we put up a Steam page for Ritual because we were like, why don't we just build this into a full game? We worked on it for about a month, and it was kind of like a puzzle game. Its game mechanic was more puzzly, and we got a month in, and I was like, dude, I don't want to make a puzzle game. Like, I actually hate this. Like, this is not for me. Like,
you have to make what you enjoy. That's a big
thing. You got to find that balance. So, and then about that time is when Scott joined our team, and we were like, 3D game ? Like, we should switch. So that was a big jump. Because we've been using a little known game engine called Construct this whole time, and I'm very fast and very speedy with that. But we were like, let's dip into Unreal because both AJ and Scott are very comfortable with Unreal. And I was like, that's fine. Like, I can dip into this. I have a side gig as well. That's all C++ coding. So I was like, I'm comfortable with C++. Like, there's nothing stopping us from just jumping into Unreal. I just have to learn how Unreal does things. So now the game that we're making takes place in the same universe, but it's a different people from Ritual. Takes place in this area called the Leviathan Isles and this port city called Redwake, where there are these, like, think about like dark fantasy mixed with Mad Max, like badass, like hunters, and they're Leviathan hunters. Nice. So they go out into the ocean and hunt these massive beasts. So that game is called Redwake. That's the main project that we've been working on now. And it is going to be like a co-op boss rush. Think multiplayer Shadow of the Colossus, if you've ever played that game. Yeah, but a little bit more action based. So that's the game that we're working on. And we already have Scott took one of AJ's concepts and made our first character modeled and everything.
It's so cool looking. I saw that.
I did see it. It looks really nice.
Yeah, so that we're really excited about how the art and stuff is translating from 2D into 3D, because that's a whole other problem.
Cool.
For them to solve. I'm just like, hey, I'll try to start figuring out the network, engineering and stuff. So fun. But that's our main project now. And we think we've got a pretty good idea. But again, we're trying to figure out how we can get it to like the first validation point, and we're not quite sure how to go about that because it's already so complicated. There's so many problems to solve with the first thing that we wanted to package up is just a simple boss fight. We drop you in, 4 players. Here's the boss. Like, is it fun?
Sounds so simple when you just say it.
Yeah. Sounds so simple. And then, week after week, I'm just, pulling my hair out like, oh my God.
I ran into that recently too, because I was working on a multiplayer game, and it can get stressful. But I really feel like you guys are on a really nice path. Like, it'll be worth all the hair pulling once you get that first fight set up.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes. This has been a pretty big shift. Again, I tell that whole story about the game jam to say that because Emily, my first interview with you was talking about our first game that we put 2 years into called Intergalactic Battle Roosters. And
that's
a really cool game.
I still love that game, and I still want to finish it. We're like 70% done with it. You know what I mean? Like, it's, we've also talked about like we still want to finish that up, but at the same time, we had tried. We already did Next Fest with that game. We paid for a PR firm for that game, and we're sitting like 450 wish lists. Like, there's no validation for that game. So it's like at some point,
really funny game, and it does have y'all's humor, which is charming, But I also understand like it's hard. It sucks because sometimes you put all this effort in and like put out the campaigns, and you get nothing. And then sometimes randomly you make a post and next thing you know, you're like blowing up all over TikTok. Or
some random influencer found you or something like that.
Yeah. So
I do think that's part of it. Yeah, I do think that's part of it. But we tried on that game pretty focused for a couple years, and it just didn't ever seem to be hitting. And then we did this game jam and made a game that was more popular in 4 days than one we had worked years on. And it's just like, well, why fight the current?
I'll say this, like a lot of indie devs, like people say that the indie dev market is very saturated, and it is easier for people to make games now. And there are a lot of games coming out, but not everyone has the ability to build worlds and like create that. Like when I look at the art that you guys are creating, like it takes you to like a whole nother world, just even from looking at it. And I think that's really special. Like it needs awesome. When you look at the 2D art, you're like, this needs to be a game. Like,
actually, that brings up a question that I've been meaning to ask too, is because I know earlier you mentioned you're making this, leap from 2D to 3D. Historically, when game companies have done this, some have done it better than others. Looking at you, Sonic and Mario.
No, don't make me think of Sonic.
But we don't have to go down that path. But have you experienced any challenges while making that transition? Because it's not an easy leap.
That's a good question. Although I will say it seemed to naturally go into 2D really well. Yeah. Maybe not naturally. There's probably a lot of work put into getting that.
They make it look natural.
Yeah.
So I would say art-wise, AJ and Scott have spent a ton of time trying to figure out how to convert like these 2D concepts into 3D that looks good. And there's a lot of challenge going on with that. But for me, it's been a lot of just trying to get up to speed with Unreal.
Yeah.
And Unreal's cool. I like it's clearly built by very smart engineers. And I really like the way that things are structured in there. It's just a learning curve, So for me, it's just been like, whereas with the other engine, I could stand up something in a few days. With this, it's like, it's just like weeks. I
got to go through the documentation on this one blueprint for like 5 days. I find out this is the wrong blueprint.
I think you go at it knowing at the start that you're doing multiplayer, because it can be really hard to go back afterwards with like Unreal Engine.
Has it made anything easier? Because like it sounds like multiplayer is going to be a challenge no matter what engine that you use. Has Unreal helped with that at all, or not really?
Unreal's built in a way that's really smart and super helpful, but you still at a core level need to understand the architecture of how you're building. And that's another reason why we decided to take a break and circle back around to Elf Sabotage, because it's a much more simple game, but the multiplayer needs to be tight, So this has been great. Even just doing something like a builder
project.
Yeah, even just doing something like building the lobby. It's like, how hard could that be? Well, there's a lot of shit that you need to pay attention to.
It's funny you should ask.
I am excited to see, though. I think too with your Rooster game, the humor is like a really big factor of it, and maybe if you made it more obvious with when you were marketing, or that it has like the humor side. I don't know if that was. I know I'm like this is a great idea, right? Just tell them about the humor, and I know there's like more that goes into it, but it was also a cool game too. So I hope it doesn't just go away.
Well, I was gonna say, go ahead.
I was gonna say that's one of the examples of like I love that game. Like I love those kinds of games. Like I could play those games all day long. But is it what people want to buy right now?
Yeah.
Because we are trying to be a legitimate game studio.
Right.
You gotta make money.
Yeah. So
I guess that answers the question then is if the studio takes off, like let's say your next game really pops off, makes a lot of money, is Intergalactic Battle Rooster something that you want to come back to?
I think I might just keep chipping away at it in my free time.
I was gonna say you have like an Armored Core story where with From Software, like they had the Armored Core series, never popped off, and then as soon as Dark Souls took off, like maybe we should give it another try. You never know.
Another thought is that before it was Intergalactic Battle Roosters, it was called Centurium, and it was a much more serious tone game. And there was like this narrative and the story behind it. And there's some other things, and then we reskinned it to IBR, as we call it, and just took like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 90s cartoon, direction with the art. The thing that we're working on now is that like Ritual was the first one in this world. Redwake will also be in this world. I have a feeling that as we try to build Redwake, we'll probably work on side projects to help us understand pieces of what we need to do for Redwake. And what our idea is that we just want to keep building games in this world. And so what we might do is reskin it yet again, like a third time, and maybe bring it into this realm somehow. I'm not sure what that would look like, but that's another idea that we've thrown around.
What is that? The Battle Roosters in that?
No, it would be.
Oh, really?
That also sounds a little interesting, though. What?
So we would basically take like the mechanics and a lot of the engineering I did, because for those kinds of games, you need to have certain like collision detection algorithms and stuff that can handle like shit tons of enemies and whatever. So like all that tech's already built. So it's like we would like to still use that somehow, but maybe we just put it in this universe and see how that hits, because it's hard to know what will happen.
Because like the mechanics are good. It's just, it sounds like you're more thinking about more so reskinning it and putting a new touch of paint on it, as opposed to just like completely building it from the ground up again.
Maybe your art style from your Game Jam game, like that sort of, since that pulled off so well, and then
exactly.
But have it like these more intricate mechanics. I don't know. It's just really interesting. I think people want this like world building stuff that you're doing. Like now is the time to like really have fun with like that stuff.
I was gonna say, because for me, some of my favorite games, they're not exactly great mechanically, but the reasoning why I love them so much is because they have just a ton of lore behind them, right? Like these are worlds that are lived in, and I love to experience. Like for me, I love the escapism of games and going into like other worlds and other like fantasies, so to speak. And so, hey, if there's something like that's your strength, like I could definitely see that being like, not saying that your games don't have good mechanics, they very much do.
I know that your mechanics are going to be locked in because y'all do a lot of this like testing and game jam stuff, and I just think you have a good eye for like the design stuff with it because of all this experience that you're getting doing these random stuff.
It is interesting. There is something to be said for just trying a bunch of different stuff, trying different genres, like just being like what works and what doesn't work. But I don't know. It's a mystery. If anyone knew how to do this, people would just be copy and pasting whatever that process is. But that's the beautiful thing about making games is it's really, really hard, but it's so rewarding. It's great.
Yes.
No, absolutely.
I love it.
It's an art. It's an art form, definitely.
100%. Yeah. Absolutely.
I don't have any more questions.
Yeah, we got to the end of them. Yeah, I'm just really excited. I know we definitely want to get you in when Redwake is at a point to where you can show it off more. Or
what you should, if we could do like a play test, like a live.
We were just talking about this.
Like we were walking back with our coffee and we were like, we should play the games while interviewing or like while talking. 100%, we would be so down, especially like
100%.
I think of me as like you're like the biggest Redwake fan already. Like I love everything about it. I saw that and I was like I think about it randomly. I'm like that. It just looks so freaking cool. Like
I'd be totally down for this idea. I was gonna say because sort of at the end of our time, do you want to plug yourself? Tell people how you can find you.
Which we will definitely have all the links and stuff below. Definitely, But are there specific, shout outs for certain things that you're wanting people to go to?
Definitely check out Elf Sabotage. Even if we miss the Christmas deadline, I don't think we care. I think we're gonna just release it whenever Steam says we can release it. It'll be out. It's already. It's already on the store page is up, so you can already go and wishlist it. Elf Sabotage.
Go wishlist it.
Yeah.
And then right now the other thing that Scott is also really doing a good job. He's posting on Reddit and like I obviously don't know all the stuff he's posting on Instagram, TikTok, wherever people are at. So he's been posting a lot of stuff on there in terms of like our like I said, we're very open with our development. So if you think it's interesting and want to just follow along, feel free to just follow us on any of those social channels. And then we have a Discord too. But I mean, I don't know how popular it is for people to join game dev Discords. It's kind of like the only one I had followed was Ashes of Creation, and they just like bombed their Steam.
Oh my gosh! Don't get me
alpha
started.
debut so hard.
I remember hearing drama around that game.
We don't have to get into it on this video.
Yeah, I will say people should follow you, yes, because you also, are like you were saying before, you show the development stuff as you're doing it, which is just really cool to see. Like 100%, I think that's great. So everyone go follow, please. Because I want Redwake to come out. I don't want, please. But just thanks again for coming on.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is great. Yeah, thanks again. This was awesome. I really appreciate it.
And happy holidays.
Yeah, happy holidays.
It'll be a Christmas miracle. It'll be a Christmas miracle if it's up on Steam before. We'll be watching for that too. So yeah.
Well, if not, we're just gonna put it on itch anyway. So there will be a version you can play on Christmas regardless. So
Nice.
we'll have links to both.
Yeah.